All right, what we're going to look at now is a technique called flat shading. This could be quite a long video, and you may just want to fast forward to parts that are relevant, or at least increase the speed on YouTube. It could be about 30-40 minutes long. Now, for most of this, I'm going to be making it up as I go along with just a general framework. So the first thing I'm going to do is determine a color scheme. So I know that I want to make just in my model, I'm going to make a simple tree and a simple building. And that building is going to have like a Tudor style, similar to what we've done before. I could get some reference images for this. I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. But what I'm going to do to start off with is find paint.net and open that up. And I've got my color scheme thing here. So I'm just going to grab this. So snipping tool should be here somewhere. SNI snipping tool. And I'm just going to grab these colors down here. I'm going to copy them and paste them into here. Oops, I'm going to make a new image first. New image. And this image can be pretty small. I'm just going to make it 1024 by 1024. It should always be 72 pixels per inch. I'm not sure why it's decided to do something different. 72 pixels per inch, 1024 by 1024. Always in pixels, okay? And when you're doing the resolution, 72 pixels per inch is pretty standard. So that'll give me this size here. I'm going to paste that in. I'll keep the canvas size, and I might just resize this down, I don't really need to be able to see it. And what I'm going to do is move that down the bottom there, and essentially, oops, why has that gone like that? I'm going to cut one of these squares off because I'm going to make a grid. Actually, I'll just do it 5 by 5. It'll make it a lot easier. So I move that up to there, snap it into the corner, bring it to there, and just bring it down so it's a decent square size. Okay, so that I'm going to use those textures for those colors for my trees. You still need to make a UV map when you do this, unless you want to be making a massive number of materials. There are multiple ways to do it, but doing it this way is fairly quick. So this website here, color.adobe.com, you go to explore, and here's some things I could use for buildings. Okay, so you just click on edit, and I'm just going to use the snipping tool to snip along the bottom here, copy, and bring that into here. Bring that to there, and then I'm going to resize it. Doesn't matter if they're not perfectly aligned. So I'll go back to here. And I kind of want to get some oranges. So if I look up autumn, I should get some autumn colors. This one down here looks pretty good. I'm kind of going for that mute color tone rather than really, really bright. So I'll get new, drag that across like that, copy it, and bring it down to here. That looks a bit bright compared to all the others, so I might, oops, don't know what happened then. So bring that down to there, and I might go adjustments, adjustments, hue and saturation, and I'll turn the saturation down on those a little bit, and that's looking more in line with the rest of it. Okay, and I might have some water in this, so I might need some blue. No, I probably won't have water, but I will have windows, so I'm going to need some kind of blue on there. And if I go back to here, I'll just explore and find an appropriate theme that I might be able to use. This one here has got some blues and greys in it. So copy that into paint.net, paste, Bring it down. Now the good thing here is I've left some room at the bottom if I need any other colors. I've got loads of colors here. I've already got more than what I probably will need. And so I'm going to save this as, I'll save it as flat shaded texture map. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop because I don't know where that folder is anymore. So I'll save that to my desktop, click OK, and that's fine. I can close that. I'm done with that. And I can close this now. So back in Blender, I'm going to start by creating a tree. I'll just try and ignore that. So I'm going to start by creating a tree. What I will want to do is make these in different models. So I won't want to make my whole model in Blender. What I want to do is, if I'm making a prop like a tree, I would make it once. And that way I can export it to different models with different UVs, etc. Anyway, making a tree is going to be pretty simple. So I'm going to make a few props. They're going to be pretty quick props. I'm going to make a tree. So for the tree trunk, I'm going to use a cylinder. And down here in vertices, I'm going to change it to 6. And the radius is going to be pretty small. Okay. In Unity, 0.5 is going to give it a radius, a diameter of 1. Okay, so this is a radius, of course. And that's actually 1 meter in real world units. So Blender and Unity use the same unit system. So I want to turn it down to about 0.2 or so. Don't worry too much about that. Okay, so I'll bring this up. 0.2 is pretty good. I'll bring that up. I'll go into edit mode. I'll grab that face and I'll just bring it up. And I'm going to actually delete that face, just the face, okay, because I'm never going to see it. Same thing with the bottom here. And this is one of the secrets to optimizing a model, is deleting parts that you're never going to see. Because the base is going to be in the ground and this is going to be in the tree, I'm never going to see it. Then I'm going to put some ring cuts on it. So I'll just stick it there and then turn up the number, maybe 4 or 5. Done. And then from here, I can go into sculpt mode and just sculpt this model a little bit. Okay, I don't want to make it look too funny, so I can use that subtract mode and bring it back in. Whoop. I don't seem to want to go in now. There we go. Okay, so that's looking a bit better. I might just add to that to there. There is a way that I can lock things so that they don't overlap, but I can't seem to see where it is now. What's this one do? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so there's my tree brush. It looks a bit weird on that side, so I might just, oops, wrong way. Bring it in like that. And you can play around with it until it looks right, but you'll probably never get it looking perfect. I'll go back in and I might just edit some of these faces. So this one here, no, I'm going to leave it. Okay, I probably should have taken more time with that, but that's fine. So I'm in object mode now, and I'm going to go and add a mesh. I'm going to add another one of those, an icosphere this time. So there's a difference between a UV sphere and an icosphere. The icosphere is more like a soccer ball shape, and it's made up of triangles, which is what we want. So I'll just delete that and add in a mesh, an icosphere. And I'm just going to bring it up on top of that. Now, you can play around with this a little bit, so you can hit scale and scale it along the Z axis like that. Whenever you scale something, after you scale it, you should always go to Object, Apply, and once you've done it completely, Rotation and Scale, so that it actually changes the model to that scale rather than just applying a scale to it. And so now this scale is 1:1, and it's just saying that that's what the model is at. So if I go into here and edit this, I can make a few changes to it. I might decide to grab that ring around the center there. Oh, it doesn't let me. Usually Alt-R will make a ring selection, but I can grab this around the center here and then scale it outwards or inwards, however I want. Go back to here, go into sculpt mode again, and sculpt this. Okay, you'll have a pretty hard time messing this up. The main thing you want to avoid is overlapping triangles, so making them overlap. That'll make it look really weird. Okay, so I will use subtract on that and take them up a little bit. And bring it back down. Okay. I'm just wanting to add kind of random volume to it. And just like that. That looks all right. Maybe some more over here. Okay, so that's that done. Now what I do is I bring out that UV panel. So I go to UV image editor and I create a new one and call it tree UVs in this case. And 1024 by 1024 is good size. Now I'm going to load an image, open an image. The image is on my desktop and it is something UVs. It's a PNG. Where is it? Flat shaded texture map. That's it. Okay, so I get that. So here's my image loaded up. I don't know what that bit is down there. Must be transparent part. And for these models, I'm going to go object mode. Hit that. And tab into edit mode. Select the whole thing. And go mesh, UV unwrap, unwrap. It's going to bring it over here. I don't care that it's not looking anything like this over here, that it's not unwrapped. I'm just going to scale it all down really small. And grab it and chuck it up there. Now I could do, in this case, I could grab kind of half of these. If I hit C and then maybe A and then C, just paint over some of these. Oops, I want to go face mode. So paint over some of these. Won't let me swivel around. Okay, and then over here, I might grab them and take those over there. Now if I put it into textured mode, I think I won't do that. I might just grab those and put them back over there. Okay, if I put it into textured mode, you can see that that part is green. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this bottom bit. Select everything, mesh, UV unwrap, unwrap. That looks more like a mesh, but I don't really care how it's unwrapped. Scale it down and put it over tree trunk color, which will be that there. Okay, so now I've got that color there. Now to save this, I'm going to save as, and I'm going to save it into, I think this looks like the right place, kids game, yep. Okay, so I'm going to save it into here, and I'm going to call it roundtree.blend. Save as Blender file. That's that done. Now I'm going to go back up to here and grab all of these again and hit G and take them down to there, onto that orange color. And then I'm going to save as. And this time, this one's going to be round autumn tree.blend. Save as Blender file. And then again, I'm going to put it on the yellow one. Save as round autumn tree yellow.blend. Save as Blender file. Okay, so what I should be able to do now is if I switch to Unity, it's down here, it's just imported those models. Okay, so it's imported these models over here. Round autumn tree, those three there. I'm going to have to set up the import settings on them. And these are the import settings you want to do regardless of whether you are doing the flat shaded or not. You want to generate colliders, you want to generate light map UVs, and then click apply. If you are doing the flat shading, you want to change this to calculate and turn the smooth angle all the way down and then click apply. Now you don't need to click apply twice. You could have done that in 2 steps. I just wanted to separate them out. Now I need to bring into materials. Here's the material called flat shaded texture map. It currently doesn't have any texture map applied to it. So what I need to do is I need to go to my desktop and I need to find that file and I need to drag it into here. So that file was called flat shaded textures. So I drag that into here and then I've got my flat shaded texture map. With this flat shaded material here, I'm going to drag this flat shaded texture up to the albedo box. And that's pretty much all I need to do. I can make a few other changes, but if I go back to Blender models and look at this here, you see down in the bottom right, it's got those colors applied. So if I then bring that in, you can see that they look different. I can rotate them. Whoops, not like that. I can rotate them like that, scale them up and down, and scale is R, rotate is E, and position them in here. Up and W, E, R for moving things around. Unity works a little bit different. I will create a video on actually making your scene in Unity, but there I've got some flat shaded props. So I'll go back to Blender now and I'll create a new one, reload the startup file, and from here I will create a barrel. Let's create a simple barrel. So add mesh. I'm going to use a cylinder for this one. And this time I'm going to give it a bit more than that, maybe 10 or maybe 12. And I'll turn the radius up. It's not going to quite be the whole way. And I'll make the depth a bit smaller. So that's kind of a barrel size. There we go. All right, so I'll tab into this. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add ring cuts, essentially. One there. And one there. And one there. And then one there. Okay, so should be able to select both of these, and I'm going to just pull them up so it's a bit more in the center, like that. Okay, now from this, whoops, I want to select that again. Hit E. This might not be the right way to do it. I'm just going to test something. E, click, and then scale it outwards. Ah, yeah, that is exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm not sure if you just saw that. I'll do it again up here. So I'll get the face mode. Oops. Edge mode. And select those two edges. That is not what I wanted to do at all. So I'll go back into vertice mode. There we go. Don't know what it's doing. Okay, that's what I want, except I don't want that top face. So I'll go back into face mode, shift and right click. All right, so I've got this. I'm going to extrude these. However, if I extrude them, you see it does that. So I don't want to do that. But if I just extrude and click, or extrude and hit escape, you'll see I've got these extra faces on here, and I can then scale them out like that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on the bottom. I'm just going to manually select it this time. E, escape, and then scale it out just a tiny bit like that there. All right, so this is looking pretty barrelish. Once again, I'm going to delete the bottom face and all of these too, because you are never going to see these. Well, that's the idea. Okay, so that's, it still looks like a barrel here. Extrude this inwards, and might not be enough. I might just inset it a bit more and then extrude that bit inwards. Okay, now for this whole area here, I'm going to turn on the see-through bit, box it, and draw. I don't want all those. I just want those middle panels. Draw through there, and I want to scale this out. I'm going to scale it out quite a bit, like that. Then I'm going to do Control R there and click, Control R here and click. Select those two. Oops, don't want that selected. That. And scale these ones out as well. Just like that there. Okay, so there's my barrel. It could be a lot better, I'm aware of that, but this will do for now. On the top here, there's a few ways I could do this. Instead, I'm just going to go into here, turn off that see-through bit, and what I want to do is go add a cylinder. I want to add a really tiny cylinder just to the top. That is obviously way too big. So I'm going to scale it down, scale it on the Z-axis a lot. I'll bring it up so I can see it scaled on the Z. S, Z, and then just scale the whole thing in, and then position it just on top of my barrel about there. Okay, that's pretty good. I might just take it down so it's just inside it. There we go. Okay, so there's my barrel. It's not the greatest barrel. In this case, I probably don't need to really deform it at all. I could just run over it with the sculpt tool on really low strength, just to give it a little bit of character. So it's not quite perfect, but you don't need to go mental with the sculpt tool. Okay, so now I'm going to bring out that UV panel. Here we go. UV image editor. And go tab. I'm just going to hit A for everything. Oh no, I've got to open my image. So new. I'm going to call this flat shaded. What did I call it before? What textures it got? This one. Flat shaded texture map. So I'll call it the same thing. So hopefully Unity will recognize that. And image, open image, desktop, flat shaded image texture map. Okay, so I'll scale that all the way down. And I want it to be a barrel-y color. That looks like a barrel-y color. For this bit on top here, I might do some of them separate. So I can grab this bit here, make that a lighter barrel-y color. For this bit here, oops, I'll make that a slightly different barrel-y color. Now I could do stripes down here. So I could select stripes. Why not? The only reason that would stop me is if there's an uneven number. Nope. Okay, so I'll put them on that one. I have no idea what this is going to look like, by the way. Let's select some of these faces. That's not going to work. One. And turn on that invisible mode. Oh no, I hate it when it does that. B, B, B. Okay, so I've got those panels. I do want to unselect these. So unselect those. That one can stay. And for these, I'm going to grab them and move them onto the grey bit there. Okay, that should be all right. Now I can look at it in texture mode, but it'll look pretty weird. That'll look pretty weird. We'll see what it looks like rendered. I might need to change those colors there so it doesn't look like a clown barrel. Or change that orange to the lighter panel there. We'll see what happens. So file, save as, and I'll save it as barrel.blend. Save as Blender file. And in Unity, got my barrel dot blend. Because that material already exists, it's taken it and applied it automatically. There is one thing that seems a bit weird about it. Oh no, it looks fine. Okay, it doesn't actually look too bad flat shaded like that. The colors look pretty good. Okay, it looks like a barrel. Now what I could do with these is rotate them, say 90 degrees. Just negative 90. I don't know why that's like that. So 0. And duplicate it. So if I hit F, Control D, W, duplicate, Control D, duplicate, Control D, up, move it that way, Control D, move it that way. Okay, so I can set up a little scene like that with the barrels just by using that one model that took me about 30 seconds, oh, not 30 seconds, a bit longer than that, to create. And it looks quite effective. Now, depending on where the lighting is and so on, I'm going to be able to do some really interesting things with this flat shading. Now, you can use textures, and textures are still going to look great. You will have to look at my video on how to make normal maps with textures, or they can look very flat. Which you don't want textures to look like. You want textures to give it that character, to give it that texture. But with the flat shading, we want it to look flat, of course, and we want the colors to bring out the character and evoke those emotions in there. Whereas the textures, it's a combination of the color and the effective texture, but also how realistic the texture looks. So you want to get that normal mapping in there, and that's going to help a lot. Okay, last thing I will create is just a very, very, very straightforward, simple house. And I haven't planned this, so this might not go well. Whoops, file, new, reload startup file. Okay, so I'll add in a mesh cube. Okay, we'll bring that up, and I'll scale that up quite a bit. This is and I'll scale it along the Z. Not too high. Okay, so this is going to be the foundation for my house. I'm going to duplicate that. So Shift D, sorry, so it's not linked. And I'll make sure it's snap it to vertex like that. Edit that and join these two here. Alt M at the center. Alt M at the center. Got my house top here. With that there. Go back into edit mode, select these faces, extrude that out, and I'll leave those for the time being. Extrude that down, extrude that down, extrude that out, and that too. And then extrude that to there, and that to there. I won't worry about doing the other side for now. For this bit, unless I made that thing exactly 45 degree, exactly 90 degrees there, which I know I did not, I won't just be able to extrude that out. So what I'm going to do is go into vertex mode, select these, Alt M at the center, same with all these other ones, Alt M at the center, and then at the back here, Alt M at the center. Okay, so it gives me that house there. But don't worry that it's kind of getting thinner as we go up. I could, if that was really going to bother me. No, I'm not going to, because it doesn't bother me. But if it was, I could grab this edge here and just pull it up slightly like that, so it looked more even all the way down. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to make some wooden beams to go on the side here. So add mesh object, sorry. No, mesh cube. I'll bring that down to here. Scale it in. And go into edit mode. Select that top face. You have to trust me that I have selected it. Bring it up. I might just bring this whole thing out so it's not quite in the wall anymore. Like that there. And now there's several different ways I could do this now. I might just try modeling it all in one because you've seen me duplicate things before. So I'm just going to do a ring cut up to there and then select that face. And then extrude that face all the way along the top. And then do a ring cut over here. About there. And then select this face down here. And extrude that all the way to the bottom. Okay, so I've got that paneling there. I'm going to then get this, and this is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to extrude this all the way up to there. And then I'm going to pull it all the way over to there. And probably make some changes to it. So I might just turn that lock off there. Okay, so that gives me a wooden beam going up underneath there. I can rotate this around the Y-axis. Hit G and grab it and just kind of bring it back in a bit. Oh, that's not gone what I wanted to do. Just bring it back in like this. And it looks like scaling it might work. Okay, so that's worked there. I'll do the same to the other side. Grab this face, extrude it, and I'll just bring it up to about there. And grab it and bring it all the way over to there, and then I'll rotate that end so it's hidden, and then grab it and just move it. That's got a bit funny there, so let's scale that in and grab it. Alright, that looks, it was looking good before. I don't know how I managed to mess it up. It's like, I don't even know. Doesn't matter. I'll just pull that down. Make sure it doesn't stick out. Pull it to the right. Take it back a little bit so it kind of matches up. There we go. That'll do. Alright, so that's fine there. I'm not going to notice any major funny bits, or except for that bit sticking out of the roof there. I will notice that. This turned out to be much harder than I thought. Okay, I don't want any sticking out the roof. That'll do. That's fine. Okay, now, other bits. I am going to do a ring cut here. And another ring cut. Oops. Well, I may as well do that. Another ring cut right here. And hopefully I guessed that correctly because I want to be able to take this face up to there. Okay. Another one right there. And another one right there. And I'm going to grab that. Hopefully, I might decide not to do this one. Yeah, I'll extrude that down to there. And then same on the other side. So I'm just going to have to guess because I don't really care. That'll do. Just there. And then Control R. Just to there. Get that face that's just showing there. And extrude it down to there. Yeah, no idea why it's doing that. I'll move that back into there. And up. And across. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so there's part of my building done. And of course I need a door, so I'll do that. And I may as well do that separately. Add mesh cube. Bring that cube down. I'll lock it. Bring it down to here. And across. I'll scale it in along that Y-axis. And grab it and bring it out to here. It's still a bit big. Scale it along that Y. Okay. Take it to the center. Scale it along the X. Scale it along the Z. And then just bring it down to about there. With this door, I'm just going to make it fairly simple. I will scale it up a bit actually. because I'll use it as a door frame. Okay, so I'll go into edit mode now, and I am going to inset this door. Not the whole thing, just the front. Inset it. I'm going to grab some of these edges. This edge I'm just going to bring up so it's about the same width as these ones around the outside. And this one I'm going to take right down to the bottom. Like that. Okay, I don't care where it goes to, because I'm going to probably bring this up and add like a foot bit underneath it using this, which I may as well do now. So I'll extrude that. Oops. Extrude that and bring it down. And then extrude this and bring it out. And there's an upside down face. Oh no, there's not. It just looked like there was. Okay, I'll just bring this whole model up now. Alright, there we go. I've got a door here. So this door is going to get pushed back. I'm going to extrude it into it like that. And I'm going to start putting some ring cuts on it. 1, 2. And then go into face mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inset them. That didn't work out. Just inset them individually. 1, 2. And you can just guess because it's a pretty old looking door. 3, 4. Grab each of these and just pull them out. I don't want to extrude them out. Just a little bit. Like that. And yeah, this one doesn't have a door handle. That's all right. Okay, windows. Windows are going to be pretty straightforward as well. I'll just make a very quick window for this. Mesh, cube. Let's get that cube and bring it down to here. I'll just go into edit mode and edit it manually. So scale it along the X, scale it along the Y, Z, and bring that up like that to about there. And I'll just subdivide this. Okay, and here, inset. And then all of these, I'll just select the whole thing and unselect that and extrude it out this way. Okay, now could put a frame around the outside as well, a bigger frame, and that would be as easy as doing this. Don't know what that lock is doing. Okay, extrude that and then scale that outwards. What's going on there? No, that won't work. That's just making it look really bizarre. Oh no, that'll work. And then I just pull that back like that so it sits flush against that, and then select all of those. There's loads of different ways you could model something and then extrude those out like that. There's my window frame done. I'll just duplicate that. So Alt D, bring that over here. My mistake. Well, that's weird. It doesn't matter as long as it's just on the front here. Okay, so that's the front of the house. I'm not going to worry about the rest of it for now. We'll just leave it because I'm going to go and UV map that now. So I go UV image editor, and I'm going to do flat shaded texture map. Okay, open that image. Oops, image open, desktop. Flat shaded texture map. Okay, so with this window, should only have to select one of them. Most of it, I'm just going to select the whole thing and mesh UV unwrap. Scale that down and I'll chuck it on that one. Okay, that's going to be my window texture. Now the rest of them, these bits here, they're going to have, I'll put that on there, mesh UV unwrap and scale those down as well. They're going to have that as their texture. Okay, so that should be the whole window done. I'll just put it in textured mode if I can see. Yep, that's done. Now one thing I haven't done is deform any of this, and I could deform the roof, so I might actually do that now. So the best way to do it would be for me to select this face and subdivide those a few times. Yeah, like that. I don't want to subdivide these side bits, it'll end up looking crazy. Okay, sculpt mode. Just go in and sculpt. I don't want it to look like that. And just give it a bit of shape without doing too much to it. I don't want to make massive creases like that down there. Because it's still like the roof of a house. Okay, that might wreck it, I don't know, we'll see. So let's get back to this door here, object mode. Okay, this door, I'm just going to select the whole thing, mesh, UV unwrap, and I'll make sure it's on flat shaded textures. It is. Scale it all down, and the door can be this color here. Okay, but then these panels inside it, I'm going to grab them. Oops. I'm going to grab them and just change them to a slightly different color over here. All right, that's the door. These bits at the bottom here can be stone, so I might just grab those. G, light gray. Okay, now I go to my main building here. I'll just select everything, mesh, UV unwrap, scale it all down, and I'll use that color up in the corner there for the building. Okay, this wood panel bit here, select everything, mesh, UV unwrap, and scale it all down, and I'll use the wood color. That one looks good. I probably want to deform those a little bit. We'll see in a minute. And then for the roof, tab, select everything except this bit here. I'll do it all together. Okay, so mesh, UV unwrap. Whoa. Scale it all down. I'll make it yellow. Okay, this bit here though, I'm going to grab it. Doesn't matter about the size of it, and I'm going to put it up there because it's going to be that whole texture anyway. So let's see if I've missed anything. It doesn't look like I've missed anything. Okay, so I've done everything there. All right, so file, save as, smallhouse.blend, save as Blender file. Oh, there's a problem there, but it should be okay. Open it up in here. There's my small house, bring it in. I'll just rotate it around. There is a problem there, but it's not a big deal. I might just be able to fix it in here. I would fix it in the model. I would not ever fix it in Blender, by the way. Okay, so there's my small house. There's some barrels. It doesn't actually look too bad, flat textured like this. Now, I'm just going to delete that and add it in again and get all of this stuff and rotate that around. Which way is the sun coming from? Game object. Okay. Main camera there. that is a problem there. That's all right. Remember how I deleted the bottom of those barrels? But I actually want to turn them around this way anyway. And bring them forward. And down to the base of there. Okay, so I'll add that house in now. Oh, now it's around the other way. Turn it around. Okay, so you can see my little scene starting to come together. You're going to need to put more detail into any building that you build. This was just built for an example. Trees and props can be fairly straightforward. Even a tree, like if you're going to use trees and you're not going to do flat shading, then I recommend in Unity, import package, environment, and there are some trees in here that you could use because I've probably already imported them actually. Let's have a look. And standard assets. Oh, great. I don't know what's happened then. Oh, it's frozen on me. But anyway, there are some trees that you can use in Blender if you're going for a more realistic look. Okay, so there's trees that will be used. There's obviously a big difference between the two, but you wouldn't want to mix them up. Okay, so you wouldn't want to use like this really low poly tree with a flat shaded house because it's going to look pretty bad. Same way the other way around, you wouldn't want to use this kind of high poly tree with this. Also, this kind of high poly tree is quite difficult to model, so that's why I wouldn't insist on modeling that. But if you're going to use trees with the flat shading technique, so they look like this, yeah, you model it yourself because it's not very difficult at all. That'll finish up that tutorial there. You do not need to put it into Unity at the moment. I will make more videos explaining that process, but this should be pretty straightforward. Down the bottom here, you can actually see some of these normal maps. That's the texture. I'll make that bigger. And then that's the normal map that tells the light how to shine on it. If I go up to this here, it might... yeah, so if we look at that there, if I click on it, you can see those blue lines. You might not be able to, I'm not sure how high quality it is. Those blue lines are where the actual polygons are that make up the model. But you can see in some parts, and especially if I move the directional light around or just rotate it, you can see how it looks like some parts, especially if you watch here, as I rotate that, it looks like it's moving. And it's actually just the way that the light is casting off that normal map. So it gives it more depth. And that's going to make your textures look a whole lot better. So keep an eye out for the video for that.